And anybody feeding you a perfect life or a perfect aesthetic or a perfect body, they are the fraud, not you. You being authentic with yourself and being 100% who God created you to be makes you the one that is authentic, not the imposter. I am exactly who I say I am. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am set apart. These are all things that are going to help you build that confidence so that when you do start to walk forward in your greatness, you won't be discouraged by other people.
The focus on faking it. I've been in long enough to know when I'm being played. No need to fight better now. We cool friends. Just look around.
What's up, boss babes? Welcome to another episode of Fruitful Conversations, where we talk everything girl talk, mindset, and business. Now, today we are going to be talking about how and why you need to get rid of that imposter syndrome, okay? So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So first of all, imposter syndrome was like one of the hardest things for me, and still working on, for me to get through, only because imposter syndrome stems from your environment, your upbringing, your peers, social media even, which we like to call societal pressures. So it basically feeds you lies about yourself. It feeds you limiting beliefs. It feeds you things that are negative and literally stunt your growth. Imposter syndrome stems from you feeling like you are a fraud, feeling like the person that you are trying to become and the new identity that you are trying to create is fraudulent. Like, of course it is, because you have never been this version of yourself before, right? So in order to become unrecognizable, you have to be unrecognizable. And not only that, once you start to develop and cultivate a growth mindset and 100% confidence in yourself, other people around you will also try to diminish your growth by continuing to tell yourself these lies. For example, when you start to grow, have you ever heard things like, who does she think she is? Or she thinks she's better than everybody? Or those are things fed to you to make you believe that you are a fraud, that you have no right to want better for yourself, which is absolutely ridiculous, because without you becoming the person and the woman of your dreams, you will never get the life that you're destined to have and the life that you deserve. Like, let's just be real. You have to become a person that you've never been before. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's going to be, challenging, but it's 100% worth it. And I am a living testimony to tell you, once you start to understand why you need to get rid of imposter syndrome and why it's so important for you to become the best possible version of yourself, your life and everything around you starts to align. You start to attract nothing but abundance, prosperity, growth, and just great things. So without further ado, I'm going to tell you how you're going to get rid of that imposter syndrome. So first things first, you need to embrace your imperfections, right? You need to understand that you are not perfect. You don't need to strive to be perfect. You should be striving to be better than you were yesterday. Understand that nobody on this planet is perfect, and anybody feeding you a perfect life or a perfect aesthetic or a perfect body, they are the fraud, not you. You being authentic with yourself and being 100% who God created you to be makes you the one that is authentic, not the imposter. These people would want you to believe that they are perfect and they are aesthetically pleasing and life is just awesome and everything. No, that is not the case. They want you to believe that so that you can A, either spend money with them, or B, start to, like I said, feel less of and less about yourself, right? You need to embrace your imperfections. Understand that is what sets you apart. Understand you are unique in your own right. That is what makes you authentically you. Me being who I am is what makes me Mimi the good influence, right? You being who you are is what makes you you. And there is so much power and worthiness in knowing and understanding that. And if you're somebody who struggles with seeing your worth, seeing your value, being confident in yourself, I will 100% recommend walking in the grass barefoot, saying your affirmations, getting more connected with nature. Believe it or not, nature really will ground you and, make you more grateful for who you are. It just gives you this feeling of peace, right? And connectedness. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it really works, guys. Like, it might sound cliche, but affirmations changed my life as well. Telling myself with power out loud, I am exactly who I say I am. I am worthy. I am powerful. I am set apart. These are all things that are going to help you build that confidence so that when you do start to walk forward in your greatness, you won't be discouraged by other people or other things, or, you won't be discouraged at all, because you'll know who you are and you'll understand that in order for you to become somebody that you've never been, you have to do things you've never done. In order for you to become the person in that new life that you visualize and you see, you have to become that person. This is somebody you've never ever been before, right? So those are all things that you are going to have to be okay with doing. Embrace your imperfections. Understand they are what makes you you, right? The other thing, number 2, you need to reframe those negative thoughts. So when you start to go down that rabbit hole of talking negatively to yourself, doubting yourself, we all get those thoughts. I'm not good enough. What am I saying? What am I doing? How am I? Why am I? You need to start to catch those thoughts and actually reframe them. I'm doing this because I am powerful. I am authentic and I am worthy. This is the life that God has for me. And without me doing these things, I will never be able to reap the benefits of my hard work. So you have to literally take those negative thoughts, catch on to them, understand your triggers, and throw those out the window. You have to create new, better thoughts. And that's why affirmations, like we just talked about, are so important, because you're going to be able to take those negative thoughts and turn them into positive thoughts, because you've already affirmed to yourself that you are worthy and you are exactly who you say you are. And that's going to bring me to number 3, which is very, very important. You need to get away from people who are negative. You need to establish and set boundaries. You know how people say, what are your deal breakers? You need to establish those in every area of your life. Everything does not have to be about a man. For when I hear about deal breakers, I always hear about it in relationships. But you need to have deal breakers in every aspect of your life, even with yourself. For example, if I'm going to wake up and I have 5 things on this list that I need to achieve in order to be pushing forward and becoming, that person, that woman that I like to be, that woman of my dreams, then I have to achieve these. I have to do these things. So you have to establish boundaries and deal breakers with yourself as well. And that goes for your social media. One thing that I did when I was getting rid of the imposter syndrome, I didn't have to have a reason. If I didn't want to see somebody on my TL, if they made my nervous system feel all crazy, I'm getting you out of here. I don't have to have an explanation. And it's no hard feelings. It's just that I am in my growth journey and I only prefer to see things that uplift me, build me, and feed me self-confidence. Feed me positive things about myself. I only want to see things that, go along with the promises that God has for me, for prosperity, abundance, His word, positivity. So the more that you're engaging in and subjecting yourself to negativity and, unbelief and limiting beliefs, or that you're not going to think you are exactly who you say you are. You have to cultivate an environment where you are a big dog, okay? You are that girl. You're that girl. And you are worthy. You're exactly who you say you are. So get rid of those people that make you feel like, oh, you have to do this in order to be beautiful, or you have to live in this type of house or environment in order for you to be worthy, right? That is not the case at all. You are worthy right where you are. Anything that you go through is a test for your testimony. You don't have a testimony without a test. So understand, God would only put you through things that are going to build you and make you better and create that version of yourself that you see in your destiny. Okay? Okay. Talked about embracing your imperfections. We talked about reframing your negative thoughts. We talked about establishing boundaries. Now we are going to talk about having a good support system, right? And sometimes, listen, y'all, when I was on my journey, and still, even right now, you are going to go through that stage of isolation. And that is not a negative thing. Number one, I learned that my era of isolation only got me closer to God. And the closer I got to God and his word, the more I started to feel confident, love myself, and feel worthy again, right? Because all of these different, what is the word that I'm looking for? All of these different things that you're feeding your brain daily. You got social media, you got your coworkers if you still work a 9 to 5, you got your friends, your family. All of these people are not necessarily on the same journey as you. So you have to find a support system, whether it be a community of people, whether it just be starting out with cultivating a different Instagram algorithm that feeds you. That's one thing that literally changed my life. Like, I literally was able to repair my own credit. This is a side note, but I was able to repair my own credit simply by watching other people on social media, seeing people that were only telling me things about business, mindset, elevation, self-development, going to the gym, like building myself up. I started to get all of those local, I like to call them local haters, or monitoring spirits, a lot of people like to call them, off of my timeline. Because I have to be somebody that I've never been in order to do things that I've never done. So I can't continue to hold on to the past and hold on to past versions of myself and hold on to old beliefs from people who are not on the same journey as me. So it's so important to get around like-minded individuals, whether it be, like I said, join a community, cultivate your Instagram algorithm, start to do random things by yourself, start to go to Pilates, okay? Start to go to the gym. You're going to meet people that are on the same journey as you. You are going to meet people that are 9 times out of 10 trying to be the best possible version of themselves, just like you. They put self-development on a pedestal. A lot of people don't do that, and they wonder why they can't elevate, and it's because you are not elevating you. It starts with you. It starts within. Yes, there is certain business skill sets you may need to learn. There are certain life skill sets you may need to learn. But if you don't know yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself, you're never ever going to be able to achieve anything, because it starts with you. You understand what I mean? It starts with you. So get around more positive people. Start to read mindset books. Start your own community of women if you don't have other people around you. Or, like I said, I went through a season of isolation where I was solely isolated. All I did was read the Bible, watch things about mindset, watch things like on YouTube, like Women of Impact, Tam Kerr, Myron Golden. Like, start to cultivate a growth environment, not just a growth mindset, but a growth environment, and have deal breakers. Make your nose, and you don't have to explain to anybody but God. You are on a journey, and this is what comes with it. Like, anything great is not going to come easy, and anything easy, baby, it ain't great, okay? So understand that. We talked about embracing your imperfections. We talked about reframing negative thoughts. We talked about establishing boundaries, and we talked about a support system. So number 5, y'all, this is literally me just trying to keep up with the numbers, because in my videos I be losing track of the numbers because I just be want to give y'all all the tea, right? But I be losing track of the numbers. So number 5 is going to be set realistic goals for yourself and celebrate yourself. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small you may think it is. Because something small to you is big to somebody else, okay? Understand that. And realistic goals, I say that to say, don't try to, like, even when you're saying your affirmations, don't try to say things like, I will be a millionaire by tomorrow. Like, be realistic with yourself. Be real with yourself. Not that you can't be a millionaire in 24 hours. Listen, I don't know what your capabilities are, and I don't know the conversations that you and God have. But I think something better would be, like, as far as an affirmation, would be to say something like, I know God has given me the resourcefulness and the worthiness to be able to become a millionaire in whatever time frame I choose. You know, like, make things realistic. That goes the same for your goals. Like, set smaller goals that you know that you're going to be able to achieve, because it's going to give you the momentum to keep on going. That is literally going to give you the social proof for yourself to say, okay, if I can achieve that, then I know that I can achieve so much more. And as you grow, especially if you're just starting out in your self-development journey, start small. Because that is literally going to be like, well, if I can do that, then I know that I can do so much more. And as you grow, your goals will grow. But start off with things that are realistic, and start off with things that are tailored and specific for you. Stop, like, I ain't gonna say this again. Stop looking at social media and using that as a blueprint, okay? Stop using social media as a blueprint. You have to get to know yourself, look within, ask God, speak to God, and understand who you are and what you need to be doing in your own self-development journey. That was the best thing I ever did, because I literally was also, oh, well, this person is doing this. Maybe I should be doing it. Like it's okay, like I said, to get in a community, take other people's advice, look at other people's journey and be inspired by it, and take things that apply to your own journey, but do not base your own journey solely off of somebody else and their destiny. You have your own destiny, you have your own skill set, you have your own strengths, you have your own weaknesses, so your own self-development is going to have to be tailored specifically for you. And don't forget that. You are powerful, you are worthy, and you are that girl. Okay? So you are able to come up with realistic goals that not only get the imposter syndrome out of there so you can stop feeling like a fraud, but they're going to give you so much momentum. Trust me, been there, done that. When I started to achieve things, I started to be like, oh, honey, if I can do this, do you know how much more I can do? And it literally fed me the positivity, and you know, just it fed me the energy I needed to keep on going. But as long as you're looking at somebody else's journey, you're never going to look at your cup half. What is the saying? Hold on. You're never going to look at your cup as half full. You're always going to look at it as half empty, because you are basing your own life and your own self-development and your own pace off of everybody else but you. Your journey is specific to you. Your testimony is specific for you. Your test is going to be specific for you, so that your testimony, when you tell it, it's going to be based off of your journey and the things that you did, right? So remember that, y'all. Set realistic goals for yourself and celebrate yourself. I don't care if nobody else is celebrating with you, baby. You go get you a cupcake, you put a candle in it, and you blow that candle out. I don't care if you just achieved 5 things today that you said you were going to celebrate yourself. You deserve it, because you know that you're on the journey to becoming that best possible version of yourself. And with that comes the creation of that new identity and that new life. Exactly. Number 6 is so important to understand. You are never failing. You're always learning, right? Every billionaire, millionaire, whatever, anybody successful that I watch or look up to, they always say they went through so many failures before they got to a place where they were actually successful and winning. You are going to experience successes. You are going to experience failures. Without the failures, you do not learn how to succeed. Do y'all know how many times I went and still am going through things that are teaching me what not to do again? So understand, when you're on this journey to self-development, self-realization, self-actualization, however you like to, phrase it, you are never failing. You are always learning. The more that you learn, the more you're going to be able to not make that same mistake. That's why they say you learn and then you earn without the L. The reason why you're not earning, babe, is because you're not learning. And in order to learn, you gotta fail. How else are you going to learn? Of course, you can get mentors. Of course, like I say, you can join communities, but nobody in this world has the blueprint. The only blueprint that I currently follow is the Bible and God's word. Understand that. Of course, you're going to need to develop some type of skill set, of course, but ultimately, you're going to have to go through trial and error. You're going to have to try things and they may work, and you tell yourself, okay, this works. This is something that I feel like I could continue to do because this works for me. And there's going to be other times where you try things and they don't work. And guess what? You know not to spend your money on that or not to try that again because it just does not work for you. But you are not going to be able to achieve anything if you don't try. And if you stop after one failure, then guess what? You're never going to get there, right? Because what if you just give up? What if you try something 3 or 4 times and that 4th time when you give up, that 5th time was the time where you were going to win? Exactly. You have to keep that mindset. So understand, you're never, ever, ever, ever failing. You're always learning. I never say to myself, oh, I failed. No, that is negative self-talk. We just talked about reframing your negative thoughts, right? So when you get thoughts like that, you should be saying, oh, I learned me a lesson. I'll never do that again. Never again for a lot of So just understand, you're never failing. You're always learning, and continue to learn. Even when you feel like it might be something that you can't come back from, trust me, pray on it. And you will be able to come back from it. Just learn from it. Don't let it happen again. The last thing, babes, only consume positivity. I think we already kind of talked about that throughout this video, but I just can't express enough how important it is to only vibrate at a high frequency. Only listen to, expose yourself to, and consume things that are positive and good for your growth. Because that one moment where you allow somebody negative in your circle, or you allow yourself to consume something that makes you feel less than, now you got to do all of that work all over again. Because now you're going to start having those spiraling thoughts, going down that rabbit hole. And listen, I'm only saying that. If you don't go through that, that's good for you. But listen, I'm speaking from experience, firsthand, testimony, okay? Because as soon as something happened, like we just talked about failing, which is actually learning. Soon as something happened, I start, I ain't who I say I am. That's why it's so important to get rid of the imposter syndrome. Because you are not an imposter. You are simply becoming somebody that you've never been before. It's just going to take learning things that you've never learned. It's going to take going through things that you've never been through before. So you have to always put yourself on a pedestal, and you have to be around people that are also going to put you on a pedestal. No, you're not being what is the word, vain. You are literally just having confidence in yourself. I feel like we're taught to only like ourselves just enough to not make other people mad. Listen, understand that your confidence in yourself, if it offends somebody else, that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And they should probably be watching this video and be on the same journey as you, because they don't know what you had to get through and go through to get here, right? So only be around positive things. Only consume yourself with positive thoughts. Only vibrate at a high frequency. That's why grounding yourself, saying affirmations, and starting your day off in a positive frequency is so important. I listen to the word of God. I ground myself. I listen to something positive and motivational. I try to limit how much I'm scrolling in the morning because I don't want to get into that doom and gloom of wishing I had a different life or wishing I was somewhere else or why. No, you need to be happy where you are and you will always get more. Understand that gratefulness, listen, being grateful is an undervalued characteristic that more people need to cultivate. For real. The more grateful you are for where you are, the more God is going to bless you with more. What you should do is write down 10 things that you're grateful for in the morning so that you can start to cultivate that high frequency. You're going to be moving throughout your day with so much gratefulness that it's going to be hard for somebody to mess up your frequency. But that's why it's also always very important to watch what you're around and what you're exposing yourself to, right? But sometimes you can't. So for example, like me, I work a 9 to 5. So sometimes when I gotta go into the office, I can't control other people's frequency around me. But that's why it's so important for me to vibrate at a high frequency, because that becomes contagious. And you'll get strong to a point where nobody will be able to knock you off of your square because you are so 100% confident in yourself. You're feeling worthy, you're feeling value, and you're just feeling so grateful that nobody is going to be able to come and mess with your mojo, right? So you have to literally always be at a high frequency. You have to be vibrating at a high frequency. And if you find yourself at a low frequency, you need to go back. You need to watch you a mindset video. You need to write down some affirmations. You need to write down some things you're grateful for. And you need to literally just like ground yourself. You need to come back to a place where you're understanding that this is a journey. It is not a destination. You are becoming somebody you've never been before. Keep pounding that into your head. If you were already the person that could achieve the thing or have the life that you envision having, then understand that you would already be there. But because you haven't become that person is the reason why you're not there. So you have to continue to vibrate at a high frequency no matter what environment you're in. And it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of learning. It's going to take a lot of being intentional, but you can do it. Understand you are very worthy. You are very powerful, and God gave you everything you need. It's all within. You don't need anything else but the word of God, yourself, and a growth mindset. Okay, that is going to conclude this video. I hope you found some things that were very helpful, and I hope that as you go through this journey, you understand that you are not an imposter. You are exactly who you say you are, and those who don't believe that, they need to go. You are exactly who you say you are, and better yet, you're exactly who God says you are. And God said you are more than a conqueror. More than a conqueror. So all of those negative thoughts and those negative things that are surrounding your life, you have already conquered them. You just have to believe that for yourself, okay? I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Make sure you all subscribe to this channel. Drop what you thought down in the comments below, and let me know what else you would like to see. Like, what is something else that you may be struggling with on your self-development journey, even with business? Write in the chat what other videos you would like to see from me. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video and tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.
The focus on faking.